Hello students, welcome back to the class. So in the last class I started a short story, that is Two Deer, written by Leo Tolstoy. So we are almost at the end of this short story. I already completed almost, we were discussing about a country, that is Monaco, a country which is run by a real kinglet, a very toy kingdom, small country with only about 7,000 population. And then we also discussed about a gaming house where people play roulette. In other German countries they have forbidden this game. Why? Because the man would lose everything. The one who goes to play that game will lose everything, and in that depression, after losing his money, he either shoots himself or drowns. He commits suicide. He kills himself to save people from that, to save men from that. Other German countries have already forbidden this gaming house, but in the entire of Europe, Monaco is a country which is still running this, because the keeper, the one who runs that gaming house, he earns money. Whether other people they win or lose, the keeper will always get his due. The keeper will always get his profit. That keeper pays the government of Monaco tax, so which is a special revenue, special income. That is why the king has decided to still keep this gaming house. As there is one saying, that is, people cannot build stone houses if you remain honest. If you remain honest, you cannot earn money. So the kind of saying that the king follows very well. He knows it. He knows that the gaming house is a dirty business. He still continues to have it. He is still allowing others to run it. He is still allowing his country to run that gaming house. Why? Because though it is a dirty business, it is very profitable. The king gets more revenue, special revenue from that gaming house. And then we were discussing about a murderer. So in that country, the people are very peace loving. They don't harm others. They are not violent. But for the first time in the history of the country Monaco, a murder is committed, and now that murderer is punished by the judiciary of that country. The king of Monaco, he has his own palace, army of 60 men, judges, lawyers, also court. He also gives laws. So here this murderer is at first is given with capital punishment. They decided to kill him. They decided to cut his head off. For that, what they need? A machine called guillotine and an executioner, hangman, the one who can carry out, the one who can hang that criminal. They don't have either guillotine or the executioner. So then the king decides to write. The king and his judges, the court, it writes a letter to French government, and that French government offers 16,000 francs. If the king of Monaco pays 16,000, the French government, it is ready to send an expert along with this guillotine machine. So the king, we already know how much he cares for the lives of his people and how much he cares for money. His only concern is money, and that is why he is still running that gaming house. So now 16,000 seems to be very much, it is very costly. The king says that murderer, that criminal is not worth that money. I cannot spend so much money on that bastard, on that criminal, on that murderer. And this 16,000 will cost at least 2 francs per head. It is really costly. So then he decides to write a letter to Italy, because it is like a brother country. So he thinks that Italy will give a lesser offer, which means the amount will be reduced. Then Italy gives offers that it will cost 12,000 francs, including travel expenses. Though it is lesser than the offer of French government, it still is too costly. It still will cost nearly 2 francs per head. So now the king, along with his judges, lawyers, the court decides that we cannot cut his head off, we cannot give him capital punishment. So now they take that punishment back and give him new punishment, that is he has to stay in jail forever until his death, that is imprisonment for life. And now initially there is no proper room in which the criminal can be put. However, they manage in a cell, in a jail is kept there, the criminal, and they also arrange a guard so that the criminal will not escape. But after some time, like the king, as usual, while going through his annual expenditure, sees that there is one particular section where it is costing 600 francs per year, and this money is spent on that criminal, on that guard. The guard has to be paid his salary, and then the food is served to that criminal. So to look after that guard, the kingdom of Monaco was spending 600 francs every year, per year. So now again the king is worried, he cannot spend so much money on him every year. He summons his court again, he summons all the judges. Now they sit and decide, think that okay, let us take back the guard, let us remove him so that we don't have to pay him anymore, and this criminal may escape if there are no guards to look after him. And they don't even mind, they are ready if the criminal escape, because they don't have to spend money on his expenditure. They remove this guard, they wait and watch, but then it turns out that the criminal is not ready to escape. Though there is no guard, the criminal sees that there are no guards, there is no guard to look after him. He goes, takes his food on his own, comes back and rests. He does it day after the other day. So then again the king decides, the ministers, they decide to go and talk to him directly. They go and ask him, there is no guard to keep you. You can go where you like and the prince will not mind. The prince here, he minds only for money, only about his money, his revenue and his income. So they are saying, the ministers, they have gone directly to the criminal saying that you can escape now, you can run away. There is no guard to watch you, to keep an eye on you. You can escape and the king will not question you. The king will he doesn't mind if you run away. So why can't you escape? And why are they doing this? Why do they want the criminal to escape? Because they are not willing to spend so much money on him. They are not willing, they are not ready to spend. The king of Monaco is not ready to spend 600 francs every year on this criminal. I dare say the prince would not mind. What can I do? I have nowhere to go. So the criminal is answering the question. He is saying that I'm not ready to escape. I'm not going anywhere. I'll not run away. Why? Because I have no place to go. And secondly, most importantly, you have ruined my character by your sentence, by punishing me to capital, by giving me capital punishment, by giving me death penalty. Because of that sentence, my character is ruined. People will not respect me if I go out. They will turn their back on me, which means here this murderer is saying that even I have a character and it is ruined because of this punishment. And people, if I go out, they will not respect me anymore. You sentenced me to death. You ought to have executed me. But you did not. This is one thing I did not complain. So firstly, you sentenced me to death. You should have killed me, executed me, cut my head off. But you didn't. Then also I didn't complain. Then you sentenced me to imprisonment for life, put a guard to bring my food. You took him away again. I fetched my food on my own. I did not complain. So these are the things that he is saying. These are the reasons that he is giving. That why is he not escaping? His reputation is ruined. His character is ruined because of this punishment, because of the sentence. He has no place to go. Firstly, they should have killed him when they gave him capital punishment, but they didn't. Secondly, he did not question then also. Secondly, they gave him with imprisonment for life. They sentenced him to imprisonment for life. They put a guard to give him food and all. Then you took that guard. They took that guard because they were not ready to spend money on him. So he had to go fetch his food on his own. He didn't complain then also. Now you actually want me to go away? I cannot agree to that. You may do as you like, but I won't go away. So this criminal is not ready to run away because of all these reasons. He is saying that now you want me to escape, you want me to run away, but I'm not going anywhere. You can do whatever you want to. So they have to find a solution now. Again, these judges, the court, it summons all the judges, lawyers, jurymen, barristers, all of them, the ones who are there within the court, in the judiciary system, they are summoned again, including the ministers. They have to find a solution now. This criminal is not ready to escape. So they come to one solution, that is, the only way to get rid of him was to offer him a pension. Again, look at this, look how smart this government is. The reason why they want him to escape is because of the expenditure, because of the money that is spent on him. And now again they are telling that the only solution is to pay him pension, so he will go out of the jail. We must get rid of him somehow. The sum was fixed. It was 600 francs, and this was announced to the prisoner. Before, as I told you, it was costing 600 francs a year. So they decide now. Look, this is what Tolstoy is telling us. According to Tolstoy, he is ridiculing, making fun of, is mocking the ways how judiciary works, is mocking the modern day government, keeping this as an example. This short story, and a country of Monaco and its king is mocking at the government and the ways how it works. They are now planning to pay him 600 as a pension, and this smart criminal says, well, I don't mind as long as you undertake to pay it regularly. So he is saying that if you are ready to pay me 600 francs every year, I don't mind going away. I don't mind to leave this jail. So it was fixed. He received 1/3 of his annuity, that is a fixed sum of money in advance, left the king dominance. It was only a quarter of an hour by rail. He emigrated, settled just across the frontier. So it was decided that he will get 600 francs as pension every year. And who is he? Is he somebody who deserves to be paid? No, he is a criminal, a murderer, and this murderer will get pension from now on every year. And he leaves the kingdom of Monaco just within 15 minutes of journey in a train by rail. He emigrates, he leaves his country, goes and settles in another country which is near the borders of Monaco. Lives comfortably. He bought a land, started market gardening. So he goes on a proper time to draw his pension. He has bought a land for him. He has started gardening. market gardening, and he is living a very comfortable life with the help of this pension that is paid to him every year by the Kingdom of Monaco. Sometimes wins, sometimes loses. Okay, so he goes to the gaming house. This person, the criminal who is free now, also who is getting pension, goes to the gaming house that we discussed in the beginning, the gaming house in which people play roulette. He goes to that gaming house, and the money which is he gets as pension, he spends it on that gaming house. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses, comes back home and leaves peacefully. Though he loses, it doesn't affect him much. Why? Because he anyways will get his money every year, anyways will get 600 francs. So he spends some of that money on gaming house. So in a way, indirectly, though they released this criminal, though they pay him 600 francs every year, indirectly or in a way, this criminal is also profiting the Kingdom of Monaco, because if he goes to gaming house and play game, the tax is paid to the kingdom, to the king. It is a good thing that he did not commit his crime in a country where they do not grudge expense to cut a man's head off or to keep him in prison for life. So it's the final line is very important, the concluding line. It says that he is lucky that he didn't born in a country which doesn't mind to cut a man's head off just for the sake of its money. So he is lucky that he is born in Monaco, where money plays a very important role, where the king cares only for money. So this man, the criminal, is lucky. That's what the concluding line says, that it is a good thing that he didn't commit murder in another country where they don't mind to kill him, they don't mind to cut his head off, instead of thinking about to save money or keep him in prison for life. So this is the story of Too Dear, Too Expensive, written by Leo Tolstoy. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂದರೆ, ಸರ್ಕಾರನ ಅವನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಆಥರು, ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಫನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಡೇ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಈ ಮೊನಾಕೋ ಅನ್ನೋ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ 7,000 ಜನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರೋ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಗೇಮಿಂಗ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೌಲೆಟ್ ಆಟ ಆಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಜನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಗೇಮ್ ಆಡಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ದುಃಖದಲ್ಲಿ ಆತ್ಮಹತ್ಯೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾರೆ. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಈ ರಾಜ ಇನ್ನೂ ಆ ಗೇಮಿಂಗ್ ಹೌಸ್ನ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇನ್ಕಮ್, ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂಗೋಸ್ಕರ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಅವನದೇ ಆದಂಥ ಪ್ಯಾಲೇಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜಡ್ಜಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಅವನು ಲಾ ಇದೆ, ಅವನು ಜಡ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಮರ್ಡರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ಶಾಂತಿಪ್ರಿಯ ದೇಶ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಮರ್ಡರರ್ಗೆ ಇವರು ಪನಿಷ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನಂದರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಪನಿಷ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಅವನು ನೇಣುಗಂಬಕ್ಕೆ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಅದೇ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಪನಿಷ್ಮೆಂಟಾಗಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿಗೋದು. ಆದರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಗಿಲಿಟಿನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಮಷಿನ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ತಲೆ, ಟು ಕಟ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಆಫ್, ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ತಲೆ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋವಂಥ ಮಷಿನ್ ಅದು ಇರೋಲ್ಲ. ಅಥವಾ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಷನರ್, ಹ್ಯಾಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್, ದಂಡ ಅವನಿಗೆ ನೇಣುಗಂಬಕ್ಕೆ ಏರ್ಸೋಕೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಕೂಡ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಫ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಇಟಾಲಿಗೆ ಲೆಟರ್ಸ್ ಬರೀತಾರೆ. ಫ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಮಷಿನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ 16,000 ದುಡ್ಡಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟಲಿ 12,000 ದುಡ್ಡಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ದುಡ್ಡು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ ಈ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಂತ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವ್ನ ಸೋಲ್ಜರ್ಸಲ್ಲೇ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ನೇಣುಗಂಬಕ್ಕೆ ಇವನ್ನ ಏರ್ಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎನಿ ಒನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಗ್ ಎಮ್ ವಿತಿನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ಮಿ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಯಾವ ಸೋಲ್ಜರು ಮುಂದೆ ಬರೋಲ್ಲ. ದೋ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಟು ಕಿಲ್ ಇನ್ ವಾರ್, ನನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೋಲ್ಜರ್ is ready to kill him because they are not trained for it. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಲಿಸಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಈ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಬೇಡ, ಅವನು ಜೀವನ ಪರ್ಯಂತ ಜೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲಿ ಅಂತ ಇಂಪ್ರಿಸನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ದೇ ಗಿವ್ ಹಿಮ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪನಿಷ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ರಾಜ, ದುಡ್ಡು ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ. ಈಗ ಅವನು ಒಮ್ಮೆ ವರ್ಷದ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ದು ನೋಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ನೋಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ 600 ಫ್ರಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ಇವನ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕಿಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಗಾರ್ಡ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ, ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಿರೋ ಫುಡ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಎಷ್ಟು ಖರ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಮನಿ ಆರ್ ದೆ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್? 600 ಫ್ರಾನ್ಸಸ್. ಮತ್ತು ಕಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ದುಡ್ಡು ಮತ್ತೆ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ಆವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಜಡ್ಜಸ್ನ ಕರೀತಾನೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಗಾರ್ಡ್ನ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇವನು ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಂತ. ಆದರೆ ಅವನು ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ನನಗೆ ಜನರು ನನಗೆ ಆಚೆ ಹೋದರೆ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಏನೋ ಮೈ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್, ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹಾಳಾಗಿದೆ, ರೂಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನೀವು ನನಗೆ ಪನಿಷ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದರಿಂದ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಸಾಯಿಸಬೇಕು, ನೇಣ್ಗಂಬಕ್ಕೆ ಏರಿಸಬೇಕು. ಯು ಡಿಸೈಡೆಡ್ ಟು ಕಟ್ ಮೈ ಹೆಡ್ ಆಫ್. ಆದರೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲಿಂದ ನೀವು ನನಗೆ ಜೀವನ ಪರ್ಯಂತ ಜೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರಿ, ಗಾರ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ರಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಗಾರ್ಡ್ನೂ ವಾಪಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರಿ, ನಾನೇ ನನ್ನ ಫುಡ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ತಿಂತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಆಗಲೂ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ನಾವ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಮೀ ಟು ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್, ರನ್ ಅವೇ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ಜೈಲ್. ನಾನು ಈ ಜೈಲಿಂದ ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಆಚೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಜನ ನನಗೆ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡೋಲ್ಲ, ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ರೂಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇಷ್ಟು ರೀಸನ್ ಅವ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವ್ನ ಜಡ್ಜಸ್ಸು, ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸು ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಏನಂದರೆ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ 600 ಫ್ರಾನ್ಸಸ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡೋಣ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇದರಿಂದ ಅವನು ಆಚೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು 15 ನಿಮಿಷ ರೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದರೆ ಸಿಗುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ, ಮೊನಾಕೋ ಸಿಟಿ ಬಾರ್ಡರಲ್ಲೇ ಸೆಟಲ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನೇ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಗಾರ್ಡನಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಕಂಫರ್ಟಬಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಪೀಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಲೀಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಹಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗೋಸ್ ಟು ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಗೇಮಿಂಗ್ ಹೌಸ್. ಆ ಗೇಮಿಂಗ್ ಹೌಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅವನು ಗೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೆಲವೊಮ್ಮೆ ಗೆಲ್ತಾನೆ, ಸೋಲ್ತಾನೆ, ಡಸಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ದುಡ್ಡಂತೂ ಈ ಮೊನಾಕೋ ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮಿಂದ ಬಂದೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಟ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಇವನು ಗೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಗೇಮಿಂಗ್ ಹೌಸಿಂದ ಅದು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ಕಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟೆಡ್. ಇದನ್ನು ಟಾಲ್ಸ್ಟಾಯ್ ಕಥೆಯಾಗಿ ಟೂ ಡಿಯರ್, ವಿಚ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಟೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಿವ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಿವ್? ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜೇ ತುಂಬ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಿವ್. ಅವ್ನು ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋ ದುಡ್ಡು ತುಂಬ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಿವ್. ಸೊ ಆ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ರಾಜ ಮತ್ತು ಅವನ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸು. ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಗೆಲ್ತಾರಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಕೊನೆಗೂ ಅವನು ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ 600 ಫ್ರಾನ್ಸಸ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ತೊಗೋತಾನೆ ಪೆನ್ಷನ್ನಾಗಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಲಿ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟು ಮತ್ತು ಜುಡಿಷರಿ, ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗ ಈಗ ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಡೇಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅವರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇದೆ ಅವರ ಕೆಲಸ. ಮರ್ಡರರ್ಗೂ ಕಾಮನ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ಗೂ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಏನಂದರೆ ದುಡ್ಡು. ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ವರೀಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್, ಈಸ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್ಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ is revenue, income or money. So I'll discuss the question and answers in the next class. Thank you. Take care.